I've spent over 90 years on this earth, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: the difference between those who build real wealth and those who struggle paycheck to paycheck doesn't come down to grand gestures or extreme sacrifices. It comes down to the small decisions you make every single day, tiny habits that compound over time, just like interest in a well-managed portfolio. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Waking up at 4 a.m. won't make you rich. Taking ice baths won't build your fortune. What builds wealth is consistency in the smallest actions. Actions so small that most people completely ignore them. And that, my friends, is the tragedy of modern financial thinking. I want to share with you 17 principles that have guided not just my financial life, but my entire approach to living well. These aren't theories pulled from some business school textbook. These are observations made over decades of watching what works and what doesn't. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll understand why the wealthy think differently, and more importantly, how you can adopt that same mindset starting today. I'd like to start with something Warren and I have discussed countless times throughout our partnership. The wealthiest people in the world create more than they consume. This isn't a minor detail, it's foundational. I've observed that 67% of wealthy people watch 1 hour or less of TV per day, while 77% of people struggling financially watch more than 1 hour per day. The correlation is impossible to ignore. When you consume, you're absorbing what others have created. When you create, you're building knowledge, skills, and expertise that compound over time. This isn't about burning yourself out. Start with just 15 minutes a day. Write something, build something, code something. The medium matters less than the act itself. Think about it this way. Every hour you spend passively consuming is an hour you could have spent developing skills that increase your market value. I'm not saying entertainment has no place. I'm saying balance matters. When consumption becomes your default mode, you're training your brain to be passive rather than active. I want you to do something practical right now. Track the difference between time you spend creating versus time you spend consuming over the next week. Be brutally honest with yourself. If you're not producing more than you consume, you've just identified your first area for improvement. This simple shift can transform your trajectory more than any investment tip I could give you. Before we continue, I need you to understand something crucial. If you're finding value in what I'm sharing, click that subscribe button right now. The knowledge I'm passing on took decades to accumulate, and I'm condensing it into minutes for you. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Subscribe, and let's keep going. Now let me address something uncomfortable. Your social circle determines your net worth far more than your intelligence ever will. There's a saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I've watched this play out thousands of times throughout my career. Show me your closest friends, and I'll show you your future. If you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, who gossip about others, who focus on problems instead of solutions, you're absorbing that type of thinking, whether you realize it or not. This isn't about being cruel or abandoning people. It's about recognizing that proximity influences outcomes. Pay attention to the problems people discuss. Successful people talk about how to build more wealth, how to solve challenges, how to overcome obstacles. Unsuccessful people talk about other people, about injustices, about why things won't work. The size and nature of the problems someone focuses on reveals everything about where that person is headed. When I was younger, I couldn't always get into the circles I wanted to be part of. So I made books my inner circle. I read voraciously. I consumed content from people who thought differently from everyone around me. Today, you have an advantage I never had. You have podcasts, YouTube channels, online communities. Use them deliberately to raise your average. The beautiful thing about the internet is that it's democratized access to knowledge. You can learn from the best minds in any field without needing a personal introduction. Take advantage of this opportunity. Curate your digital environment with the same care you'd give your physical environment. I'd like to share something personal that served me well throughout my life. I keep what I call an I can do this file. Whenever I accomplish something significant, I write it down. Whenever I hit an important milestone, I document it. And here's the key. Whenever I feel paralyzed by fear or doubt about starting something new, I write that down too, along with what happened when I pushed through anyway. I remember the first time I had to speak publicly about an investment thesis. I was nervous, my hands were shaking, but I did it anyway. I documented the fear, the experience, and the outcome. Years later, when facing another intimidating situation, I could look back and see proof that I'd overcome similar challenges before. Life has ups and downs, that's inevitable. But on those inevitable tough days, revisiting this file reminds me of what I'm capable of. It shows me that I've overcome challenges before and I'll overcome them again. This isn't about arrogance, it's about evidence-based confidence. Start your own version of this today. It can be digital or physical. The format doesn't matter. What matters is recording your wins and your breakthrough moments. Your mind will try to forget them during difficult times. Don't let it. Now I want to talk about gratitude, because this is where most people roll their eyes and dismiss what could change everything for them. I used to think gratitude journaling was nonsense until I examined the research. The science is clear. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice opportunities instead of obstacles. Every night at 8 p.m., I get a notification. I open my journal and write down what I'm grateful for that day. Sometimes it's something significant. Often it's something small. A good conversation, a problem solved, a perfect cup of coffee. What I've learned is this: your mind attracts what you focus on. When you actively look for good things, your brain starts finding them everywhere. Instead of ruminating on what went wrong, you train yourself to notice what went right. This mindset shift has profound implications, not just for happiness, but for decision-making. When you're in a positive state of mind, you make better choices. You see possibilities instead of limitations. Set a 5-minute reminder for tonight. Write down one thing you're grateful for. Do this for 30 days and watch the shift in your perspective. The cumulative effect of this simple practice is remarkable. If you're still watching, thank you. That tells me you're serious about transformation. Do me a favor and drop a comment below telling me which of these principles resonates most with you. I read every comment, and your engagement helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. Let me talk about a principle Warren is famous for, but most people apply incorrectly. He says, don't save what's left after spending, spend what's left after saving. I take it further. Don't save and invest what's left after spending, spend what's left after saving and investing. The difference is in the automation. Every month, a fixed portion of my income is automatically transferred to savings and investments before I can spend a single penny. This benefits me in two crucial ways. First, I build wealth consistently without relying on willpower or memory. Second, I'm far less likely to make impulse purchases when the money is already allocated elsewhere. Think about how most people handle finances. They earn money, they spend on whatever comes up. Then at the end of the month, they save what's left. The problem? There's rarely anything left. Life expands to fill your income. This is known as lifestyle inflation, and it's fatal to wealth accumulation. Reverse the order. Pay yourself first. Automate it so you don't have to think about it. Set this up today, not tomorrow. Today. Automate transfers to your savings and investment accounts right after your paycheck hits. Make failure impossible through good systems. Eliminate the decision entirely. Specificity is power. Every year, I write down one major financial goal, And I make it specific enough that success is measurable. Instead of saying I'm going to save more money, I say I'm going to save $30,000 for a down payment on real estate by the end of 2027. Why does this matter? Because vague goals produce vague results. Specific goals can be broken down into milestones. $30,000 over 2 years means $1,250 per month. Now, I have a target I can track weekly. I know immediately if I'm on pace or falling behind. When you set a specific goal, you can measure progress. When you can measure progress, you can adjust course. When you can adjust course, you ensure arrival. Write down your specific financial goal right now. Include the exact amount and the exact deadline. Then reverse engineer the monthly or weekly action required. This transforms an aspiration into a plan. My spending is divided quarterly for business matters and monthly for personal bills. I categorize every expense into 3 buckets: fundamentals, essential needs, fun, lifestyle choices, and future growth investments. This isn't about restriction. It's about living with intention. By reviewing my spending, I can see in real time whether I'm aligned with my values or drifting away from them. I can spot where money is being wasted and where I'm getting exceptional value. Most people have no idea where their money goes. They earn, then they spend, then they wonder why they're not making financial progress. The simple act of tracking changes behavior. When you know you're going to review your spending at the end of the month, you think twice before making unnecessary purchases. Budgeting isn't a diet. It's a compass. It shows you where you are and helps you navigate to where you want to go. The clarity this provides is extraordinarily empowering. Whether you're earning $30,000 or $300,000 a year, tracking gives you control. Knowledge compounds like interest. Warren once said, "The more you learn, the more you earn." I dedicate 1 hour per week to learning something new about money. It's not a huge commitment, but the returns are remarkable. Right now, I'm studying behavioral finance, understanding how childhood experiences shape our money mindset. It's fascinating to discover that experiences as young as 7 years old influence whether someone becomes a confident investor or feels anxious about spending. There's always something new to learn: a new investment vehicle, a negotiation tactic, a tax strategy. Every piece of knowledge opens new doors. The financial world is constantly evolving. What worked 10 years ago may not work today. Continuous learning keeps you adaptable. Dedicate 1 hour this week to learning something about money you don't yet understand. Read an article, watch an educational video, listen to a podcast. The medium doesn't matter. What matters is consistent exposure to new ideas. One of the hardest lessons I've learned is to stop caring about the opinions of people who don't matter. Everyone cares about opinions to some degree. It's human nature. But when you care too much, you play it safe. You avoid risks. You stay small. I ask myself a simple question. In the grand scheme of achieving my life goals, how much does this person's opinion matter? If the answer is not very much, I focus on what I want to achieve based on my values, not their opinion. This doesn't mean arrogance or ignoring feedback. It means ruthlessly filtering. Listen to people who have accomplished what you want. Ignore those who haven't. Someone who has never built wealth has no standing to advise you on how to build it. Someone who has never started a business can't tell you how to run one. Be selective about whose opinions you allow to influence your decisions. That selectivity will give you the freedom to take calculated risks that others are too afraid to take. Let me address something called the yes trap. Research shows we have a deep-rooted feeling that we should say yes to every request, invitation, and opportunity, even when we're already overwhelmed. The consequences: burnout, resentment, and neglect of self-care. But there's something worse. When you say yes to everything, you say no to opportunities that actually align with your goals. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something important. your time and energy are finite resources. I've learned that having clarity about my goals makes it easy to say no to everything that doesn't contribute to them. When someone asks for my time, I evaluate whether the request moves me closer to my goals. If not, I politely but firmly decline. Get absolute clarity on your goals. Then, when a request comes up, ask yourself, will this help me achieve my goals, or is it a distraction? If it's a distraction, decline politely and move on. You don't need to justify your no. A simple "I appreciate the offer, but I need to focus on other priorities right now" is sufficient. The best investment you'll ever make isn't in stocks or real estate, it's in yourself. Returns on self-investment compound exactly like financial investments. The benefits stack over time. Whether you're pursuing education, improving your health, or practicing self-care, prioritizing yourself is always a good idea. Your earning capacity is your greatest asset. Anything that increases that capacity is worth considering. Think about it logically. A stock might return 10% per year. An investment in your skills can double your income within a few years. The numbers are undeniable. Investing in yourself generates returns that outpace the market. This includes your physical health. You can't enjoy wealth if you're too sick to use it. Exercise, proper nutrition, and sufficient sleep aren't luxuries. They're requirements for sustained high performance. I recently heard about an entrepreneur who reached out to 50+ people every single month, asking for introductions and connections. He built a $10 million business in his first year. The who you know factor influences everything we do. It's fundamental. Be intentional about who you connect with. But remember, networking isn't just about what you can get. It's also about what you can give. How can you add value to the person you're reaching out to? Real relationships are built on mutual benefit, not one-sided exploitation. Most people network the wrong way. They ask favors from strangers, take without giving back. This approach fails because it violates the principle of reciprocity. Instead, lead with value. Help someone solve a problem. Make an introduction. Share useful information. Build goodwill first. When you approach networking this way, people remember you positively. They want to help you because you've already helped them. This creates a virtuous cycle of mutual support. There is no perfect time to start something new. You'll never feel completely ready. I've learned to act before I feel ready. When a good idea emerges, I don't procrastinate. I take the first step immediately. Will I make mistakes? Absolutely. But I'll also have successes, and the mistakes teach me just as much as the wins. Each failure contains lessons that prepare you for the next attempt. The only true failure is not trying. Trust your gut. Take the first step, even when you don't feel ready. You'll learn more by doing than by planning. Action creates information. You can't know how something will turn out until you try. Research shows that 45% of Americans don't talk about money with family, friends, or partners. Yet 66% believe money conversations are essential for financial freedom. The discrepancy is staggering. If you want to achieve your financial goals, you need to talk about money more. Not for comparison, but for understanding, for learning strategies and values. Start with open-ended questions. How do you manage your budget? What financial lessons have you learned over your life? Be willing to share your own experiences too. Money conversations don't have to be awkward. Frame them as learning opportunities. Most people actually want to talk about money. They're just afraid of being judged. When you approach these conversations with genuine curiosity instead of judgment, people open up. These discussions can reveal strategies you never considered. Someone might share a budgeting method that transforms your finances. Another person might introduce an investment opportunity. The insights you gain from these conversations are invaluable. Finally, I'd like to share the 1% progress rule. Make small, consistent improvements to your financial situation every month. Increase your savings rate by 1%. Reduce expenses by 1%. Find ways to increase your income by 1%. A tiny 1% improvement each month results in significant gains over time. You're setting yourself up for long-term success without feeling overwhelmed. Consistency always beats intensity. Small improvements seem insignificant in isolation, but compounded over months and years, they produce stunning results. This is how wealth is truly built, not through lottery tickets or gambling, but through steady, persistent progress. These 17 principles have guided my life for decades. They're not flashy, they're not extreme, they're simply effective. Implement even a few of them, and I promise your financial trajectory will change. If you found this content valuable, subscribe to this channel right now. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me which principle you're implementing first. Your engagement helps spread this knowledge to others who need it. Remember, wealth isn't built with lottery tickets or get-rich-quick schemes. It's built through small, consistent decisions compounded over time. You have everything you need to start. The question is, will you? Thank you for your time and attention. Until next time.